Prince Harry has no chance of return to royal family, and Palace Insider reveals why. Exclusive. In this week's edition of Emily in Palace, our royal editor looks at what the palace really think about Meghan Markle. Meghan Markle will celebrate her 44th birthday tomorrow, but I suspect very few people in royal circles will be raising a glass in her honor. Behind palace walls she has retained her Duchess Difficult nickname, and many continue to blame her for Prince Harry's decision to turn his back on the royal family. 5 years after Megxit, many courtiers still fail to understand why Harry abandoned everything he knew in favor of a Hollywood lifestyle. And as Meghan only had a crash course in royal protocol, their behavior at public events has raised more than a few eyebrows among those who worked for the king's youngest son. During the opening ceremony of the 2025 Invictus Games, the couple was caught sharing an intimate moment in the stands. Meghan places her hands on her husband's cheeks and pulls him in for a kiss, in a picture that caused indignation from one courtier. "He's a prince, for God's sake," they exclaimed, looking visibly alarmed by the over-the-top public display of affection. Meanwhile, another source told me that Harry has no chance of reconciling with the royal family while Meghan is still around. "They just don't trust her," the insider said. But that doesn't mean that the feud will rumble on for years to come, just that any family reunions will have to be a solo affair. Meghan, I'm told, wouldn't be welcome. The family fears that anything said to Meghan will be used as material for her ventures, whether that be her Instagram feed, cooking show, podcast, or interviews. Harry, meanwhile, has said his piece and is ready to bury the hatchet, as he's made clear in recent interviews. "I would love reconciliation with my family," he told the BBC in May. "There's no point continuing to fight anymore, life is precious. Only time will tell if Harry succeeds in making amends with his father, who continues to undergo regular cancer treatment. But I think we can all be sure about one thing: Meghan has no part to play." Fortunately for them, the Duke has already drafted the perfect get-out clause, saying it's not safe for his wife or children to set foot in the UK. As for Meghan, there's no love lost, and she will be more than happy to stay in their Montecito bolthole. The king looked resplendent in a tartan kilt last week, as he carried out an engagement north of the border. Following in the footsteps of generations of royal men, Charles is more than happy to wear traditional Scottish dress, and it is one of his wardrobe go-tos when he's working in the country. But the tradition of royals wearing kilts is likely to end when the Prince of Wales ascends the throne, as he cannot stand them. While older working royals such as the Duke of Kent and the Duke of Edinburgh will uphold the custom, the tartan doesn't feature in William's plans to make the monarchy more relevant. The prince hasn't been seen wearing a kilt for decades, and will leave the sartorial wooing to his wife. Football fans, how refreshing to see Princess Beatrice and her family join the crowds celebrating England's victory in the Women's European Championship on Tuesday afternoon. Casually dressed in a dress and jumper with her hair swept back in a messy bun, the king's niece blended in with the thousands of cheering fans. She was joined by her husband, his son from a previous relationship, and their 2 daughters, as they stood on the mall in honor of the Lionesses' defense of the European title. It served as a stark reminder that despite their titles and proximity to the crown, royals are ordinary people, celebrating the nation's success the same as anyone else. By cheering beside everyday Britons, Beatrice reminded us that unity, celebration and national pride are still alive and well. A look back in time. Yesterday marked 8 years since the late Prince Philip hung up his working boots and completed his final royal engagement, aged 96. He ended 7 decades of service by meeting Royal Marines in the forecourt of Buckingham Palace. It marked his 22,219th solo engagement since his wife became queen in 1952. The Duke of Edinburgh's daughter, Princess Anne, who has inherited the same stoicism as his father, is expected to continue working into her 90s as well. Royal life is no walk in the park. It's not just ball gowns, banquets, and living in a palace. There's endless travel, having to be constantly switched on and camera ready, and knowing the ins and outs of hundreds of different organizations. While working well past the retirement ages in Anne's genes, it's not something that many of us are used to. The average retirement age in the UK is 64.6, though if Starmer's government has anything to do with it, we'll all be forced to adopt the work ethic of the late Prince Philip. Prince Harry, desperate to win back King Charles after string of betrayals. The Duke of Sussex may want to reconcile with the royal family, but that scenario is questioned by a royal expert. Prince Harry is reportedly desperate to reconcile with the royal family, but his chances of mending his rift are looking very slim after a string of betrayals, a royal expert has claimed. The Duke of Sussex's frosty relationship with the royals has come back into the spotlight after pictures emerged showing some of his aides meeting up with those of the king in London. Reports also claimed that the Duke is willing to share his official schedule so that it does not clash with the royals' engagements. The latest news comes right after Harry declared that he wants to reconcile with his estranged relative in a bombshell interview with the BBC in May, following a legal defeat regarding his downgraded security in the UK. But a royal expert said that the royals, particularly the king, are now more guarded than ever, and will find it hard to forgive the prince. Royal commentator Hilary Fordwich told Fox News, "Harry is now desperate. While this self-serving gesture is notable, it won't do much to mitigate suspicion and caution on the royal side. King Charles is now more guarded than ever, indeed somewhat traumatized by a string of betrayals." The royal expert added that, according to royal sources, Charles is being cautious and wary regarding fearing further unsavory leaks, especially private royal family gatherings being publicized yet again. Another obstacle in Harry's royal return is, according to Ms. Fordwich, his older brother, Prince William. She said, "Overall, doubt still prevails in Prince William's camp. He considers any reconciliation at all as a grave mistake." His senior royal courtiers are understood to be just as wary and immensely protective of the future monarch. They only see a reconciliation as creating more bombshells, as well as instability.